Hello everyone, Russell Wright here with Sue Bell and Jimmy Kelly. Yesterday we covered the basic setup of your profiles. We covered your Google dashboard and the introduction. All that is listed here, or shown here, with the yellow arrows kind of swooping down over the Hootsuite. Just to give you an idea of what we've already gone over, and today we're going to get into more advanced layering techniques using the RSS system. We're also going to introduce you to some of our tools such as Social Explosion and the One-Feed Supercharger that have been developed for you to be able to more effectively implement these, and more easily actually, implement these methods. So Sue's going to run you through these methods. One thing I'd like to say about learning is don't think that you have to get it all correct or understand everything in the first run. We've been working on this stuff for years. And trust me when I say, after you do it a couple of times, it'll become very clear. Thank you so much, Sue. Looking forward to seeing these layers.
Oh, thank you so much, Russell. So, we'll just dig right in.
Yep, let's dig right in.
All right, so I want to talk to you first of all about Social Explosion. And Social Explosion has two different components. So we're going to talk about one component up here. We're going to talk about a different component down here. And the power that you've got with Social Explosion in the first part is that it posts to Pinterest. It posts also to other platforms that Hootsuite posts to, but Hootsuite doesn't post to Pinterest. So this is just another option. If you've already got the plugin, then you can just do everything under one roof. And so let's just start with that. Let's come down here to Social Explosion. I'll just give you a quick tour. You come in here, you put in your username, you put in your access token, and then when you put in your access token and you save it, it'll tell you how many credits you've got, that your subscription's active. If you don't have a subscription, you can grab one over here. All right, so in this area, you can come down here into Twitter settings, and you can actually put in your personal Twitter account. So in this area up here, you can enable, and it will promote your blog, and it'll promote it to our Twitter army. But down here, you can actually just promote it to your own personal Twitter account if you want to. You can do the same thing with Pinterest and Digo and Delicious. You can put your accounts here. Whatever accounts you want, you can leave disabled the ones that you don't have. So in this instance, I've got my account enabled from my Twitter account, and I don't have the rest of them enabled. So this is going to take, every time I post a post to my blog, it's going to automatically, to this blog right here, it's going to automatically post to my Theme Zoom Sue account, Twitter account.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the cool thing that you can do next is we've got a plugin called One-Feed Supercharger. And what the One-Feed Supercharger does is it allows you to do all kinds of crazy manipulations to create more feeds. One of my biggest frustrations that I've had is the fact that I can only create one feed on my blog. And I've resorted to using things like Yahoo Pipes, which is a fantastic tool, but it can be a little bit complicated to learn. So I was looking for something that was like just really simple that I could manage on my blog. And I wanted also to be able to, let me just add a new feed here so I can show you some of the features. I also wanted to be able to have feeds that had one feed that has a summary and one feed that has full content, so that I can do different things with my feeds, which we'll get into probably in a completely different video.
Okay.
So in this case, I'm going to, I want to grab these feeds here. I want to grab Delicious, Pinterest, and Digo. Twitter doesn't have a feed, so we're going to ignore Twitter here. And I also want to show you how you can grab your G+ feed and your YouTube feed and make one feed out of all of those things. Okay?
Wow, okay.
So what you can do here in both your description as well as in the title is you can make this keyword rich. So whatever your blog is about, whatever the basic theme is, you want to include your keywords in that, because then as your feed goes public, other people who do searches for your feeds are going to be inclined to pick the feed up because it's got the keywords in it they're looking for. That way you get thematically related backlinks. They're looking for something about SEO because they have an SEO blog. You've got a feed about SEO, everything matches, you get good feeds, or you get good links for your feeds. So here, in this case, As I said, Twitter doesn't have one, but we are going to go grab a YouTube feed, which is this one right here, and we're going to throw it in here. I want to put a 0 here because I don't actually want the posts from this feed in here. And let's just take, actually let's maybe take 5 out of my YouTube. And I want to add another feed, and we're going to add, I think we had a Pinterest feed. Yeah, let's use that. So I'm going to put in a Pinterest feed here. I'll do 5 entries out of that. And can we add another feed? Do we have something else? Oh, G+. So let me show you G+ RSS. This is another piece of software that we've got because Google, in their infinite wisdom, did not create the ability to have a feed with your G+ account, right? So there's 2 different ways in G+ that you can post. You can make a post and you can make a +1. And we make feeds for both of those. So what you would do, you can create a new project. You can come in here, you give your project a name. This is all just so that you can track it. And you put in your G+ code from your Google account. And this can be, if you've got one of those where you've actually got a name or a keyword, you can put that in here too. It takes that, the new versions. You can specify whether it's a business account or a personal account, personal page or business page. And you can give it a description and save the project settings. So when you've saved the project, it comes out like this. And you can see this is a local business and this is a personal feed. And so what you do, I want this because I want the actual feed.
And we're probably not going to get much into the +1. That's more on this video, right?
Right. Well, we can pick that feed up and do it too. Hang on.
We could, but we'd have to explain what that's all about, and I think that's a bit much.
True. And I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to drop that in here. And let's just say that I want 5 entries from that as well. And so that's going to give me 15 items in my feed. So you want to think about that because as we push this into Social Explosion is going to send backlinks from Twitter, Pinterest, Digo, and Delicious accounts to these items. So I'll get more into that in just a minute, but just remember that we've got 15 items in this feed. All right, I'm going to publish this feed, and then I want to take a look at it.
Excellent.
All right, so we've got YouTube videos, we've got some Pinterest pictures, and we've got some, what were the other ones?
We should have the items that were mixed in the feed.
Exactly.
Okay.
Google+.
Yeah.
Google+, that was it, thank you.
Okay. And so just explain so everybody understands why, because yesterday I was so much isolating the channels and keeping them a one-for-one relationship when I introduced everyone to the concept. Explain precisely why we mix feeds into a single feed, which is really what one feed concept is all about.
Excellent question. So there's several reasons why we want to mix it into one feed. There's 2 things that you can do with one feed, and there's bunches of things that you can do with your one feed. You can submit them to RSS directories. You can submit them to RSS search engines. You can take this feed and you can put it over in FeedBurner and let it go to all the different places that FeedBurner sends its feeds to. So for me, it's a quick and easy way to get all of my content into a single feed. Now the reason I want to get it into a single feed, I just picked this link up. The reason right now I want to get it all into a single feed is because I want to send it to Social Explosion so that I can promote it. So Social Explosion is a WordPress plugin. We talked about this just a minute ago because I showed you the Twitter settings, right? So the other thing that you can do with Social Explosion is right in here, I can put in my RSS feed and I can enable it so that Twitter and Pinterest and Digo and Delicious all post social signals that come back for the entries in those feeds. So it's going to parse that feed, and for every item that's on that feed, it's going to promote it to Pinterest and Digo and Delicious, and Pinterest obviously only if there are images, and Twitter. So the reason that I said a minute ago, remember that there's 15 items in that feed, is because if I set this to low and low, it's going to burn 4 credits for each item in that feed. Now we have a calculator, so you don't have to like hurt your brain trying to figure out what this is going to do to however many credits it is that you bought. But
Gotcha.
that's why you want to keep track of, if you get carried away with the items that you put in that feed, then you can burn through your credits really fast, which can be a really good thing, because what happens here is this is essentially creating backlinks, okay? So this is creating backlinks to your feeds, to your social media platforms, which are backlinks to your blog, right? So these are backlinks to your backlinks.
Gotcha.
Do you want to talk for a moment, Jimmy, about what that does to your blog?
Well, this essentially creates like an automated domain authority stack. So, with the social signals, when they're coming in, and the other thing that Social Explosion does is, I don't know if you want to show your Twitter page again, but on those individual tweets, for instance, you're going to see a URL shortener, and we have all different types of URL shorteners that then point back to whatever it was. So it could be a post on a specific feed. It could be going back to the money site. Just depends on where you're at in this diagram. But essentially what that does on the top, let's say that was a link going back, that's going to create a bit.ly link that then might go back to a YouTube video. And your YouTube video might be you'll probably be linking back over to your money site via URL link. So that creates a domain authority stack. As you go back through the system, you can kind of see like how the backlink juice kind of flows. And it's all, this is all good juice. It's all really high DA throughout this whole thing, and it's all automated. So anytime you're posting content to your blog, this whole system is set up to do it automatically.
So this is a sustainable and safe way to automatically domain authority stack.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And the other thing is, Google likes to see social going in while you're doing backlinks. So for folks that are using the OMG methods where they're backlinking in with PBNs, this is a way to get automated social signals going in with it, so they don't have to be going out and buying other services or whatever it is to try and get social signals with their backlinks.
Okay.
So it's really kind of a 3-punch
Gotcha.
Method.
Interesting. Okay, so this is really powering up the blog in a major way by making sure the backlinks to the backlinks are present. Gotcha.
So the one other thing that it didn't show, or at least it didn't get into too much detail about, is here in your Twitter settings. Not only can you send it to your specific Twitter account, but you can also enable this on either low, medium, high frequency and duration, so that every time your blog post goes out, that gets a whole other set of settings, a set of social signals from our army. So you can have one set of social signals, if you had Social Explosion just sitting over here, one set of social signals that just come right smack to your blog, as well as this set of social signals which trickle up. So in that way, you're getting all kinds of really great, really strong social signals, and with this whole setup, you're powering up your personal accounts as well as powering up your blog. So you're going to find that you're going to get rankings. This is one of the ways that you can get your YouTube videos ranked and have multiple entries for particularly a lot of the local terms.
Wow, that's amazing. So one thing I wanted to add here for those watching is that this is incredibly powerful stuff. I've been online for a long time. You don't find this kind of integration. And for some of you, it might seem a little bit complicated right now, but if you can follow the step-by-step instructions like the ones we're showing you, it really happens surprisingly quickly. And usually the toughest time is your first time when you go through this. But after that, it smooths out and becomes kind of, second nature pretty much.
Exactly. All right. So that's the end of this video, and we're going to come back in the next video and we're going to talk about the 5 iframe punch.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sue, for this in-depth level, showing us the deeper levels of the one feed, and I look forward to the next video. Thank you so much, Jimmy. See you guys on the next video.